Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so carelessly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
If you can, if you know the words, you can join me. The loveliness of Paris seems somehow sadly gay. The glory that was Rome is of another day. I've been terribly alone and forgotten in Manhattan, so I'm going home to my city by the bay. I left my heart in San Francisco, above the blue and windy sea, to be where little cable cars climb halfway to the stars. The morning fog may chill the air. I don't care, my love waits there in San Francisco, above the blue and windy sea. When I come home to you, my San Francisco, your golden sun will shine on me. Bravo! I want to thank my accompanist. We had exactly 0 rehearsals, and he had no idea what key I was going to sing in. Well, I'm delighted to be with you. I was privileged to sing our national anthem in the White House during our nation's bicentennial.
Wow.
I have sung our national anthem in great football stadiums, Rotary International Conventions, all over the globe. And I have to tell you that I have never heard the Star-Spangled Banner sung better than I heard it tonight. You are good. I don't know how such a tiny woman can have such powerful lungs. You were really good,
Thank you so much.
and I enjoyed it. Well, I appreciate Joe Grabmeyer introducing me. He's a dear friend. Anybody who gives me $500,000 is a friend. And we, of course, contribute that to the fund in my name, the Rotary Foundation for peace centers around the globe. I appreciate a fair introduction when I get up to speak, because I get a lot of speeches. I was in Nairobi, Kenya, not very long ago, at the Nairobi Hilton Hotel, giving a speech on a Saturday night on Rotary's role in fighting AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa. About 1,000 people were jammed into the Nairobi Hilton Ballroom from all over Kenya and from all over Sub-Saharan Africa. And I gave my speech, and when I was done, a few past district governors were lined up to shake my hand, have a photograph, tell me they liked the speech. I was so excited to see, standing in line, waiting to shake my hand, a 10-year-old boy, all dressed in a dark suit and a white shirt and a necktie. And I thought, isn't this great that a young boy gives up a Saturday night to come and hear me give a speech on fighting AIDS. Eventually, he got right in front of the podium, and he held out his hand with a lot of self-esteem. And he looked at me and he said, "Mr. King, that's the worst speech I ever heard in my life." I was a little taken back by this. And I thought, what the heck, he's only 10, what does he know? A few other people grabbed my hand, told me they liked the speech, and I saw this boy standing in line a second time. And I thought, okay, his mother's made him come back to tell me he's sorry for what he said. He eventually got in front of the podium once again, held out his hand with a lot of self-esteem, and he said to me, "I want to make sure you heard me the first time." That's the worst speech I ever heard in my life. And I thought, okay, I've got to chastise him, because I know a lot of people think that when I'm done giving a speech, but you're not supposed to say it. When a past district governor grabbed my hand and said, "President Rick, don't pay any attention to this kid. He didn't even hear your speech. He just likes to go around the room listening to what all the other people are saying, and he likes to pass it on." So I'm glad that Joe Grabmeyer is over 10. I'm delighted tonight to be with a dear friend, John Mims. John has been my aide and my assistant at more events for a long time, and I appreciate him very much. And I'm delighted to be with your district governor. The governor's job is not an easy one. She's got to go to all the clubs in the district. That's a lot of lousy lunch, wonderful club meetings all over the district. She's got to put out newsletters and move her programs along, and it requires a lot of work. We're fortunate tonight to have two of the most outstanding women who have ever served as district governor, in Nina and Gloria, who are with us this evening. And I appreciate very much Yavuz. I was at his district conference, I again appreciate contribution given to me for the Rick King Peace Centers Fund by Joe Grabner. Rotary is a vast organization, 37,000 clubs in 200 countries and geographical regions of the world. Tonight, all over the globe, Protestants and Catholics are meeting together in the same Rotary clubs on the border of Ulster and Ireland. Hindus and Muslims are meeting together in the same Rotary clubs on the border of Pakistan and India. And throughout the Middle East, Arabs and Jews break bread together wearing the Rotary wheel because they are Rotarians. Every second of the day, we make the lame to walk, the blind to hear, the deaf to see. We heal the sick, educate the ignorant, bring about peace. We bring about a measure of happiness and joy because of people all over the globe who wear the Rotary wheel. And so it's a great privilege for me to be with you to congratulate your new president on this exceptional evening where you celebrate the achievements of this Rotary Club. Rotary International is in your debt. Our programs are vast. You all know what we've done in Polio Plus. I just mentioned our role in working against AIDS. We fight malarias, dengue fever, measles. We distribute packets of dehydrated food into the mouths of hungry, starving children. We deliver wheelchairs all over the globe. We fight illiteracy with a special emphasis on educating the third world girl child. We dig water wells. We restore sight. We build shelters. We plant trees. We spend millions and millions on youth programs, Interact, Rotaract, RILA, Youth Exchange, Early Act, and all of the vast programs in the Rotary Foundation Scholarship Program. Rotary is a vast private United Nations of citizens of every race, every color, every creed, every religion, every language, every politics, every culture, every business, every profession, every occupation, every culture known to man on this planet. We wear the Rotary wheel, and we do God's work on earth. I was having dinner on the banks of the Nile in Cairo with a retired general from the Second World War in the Egyptian army. He said, Rick, in your part of the world where there's a problem to be solved, you get together in a Rotary Club and you talk peacefully about ways to make progress in solving the problem. In my part of the world, he said, we don't do that. Instead, we kill each other. And then he went on to make this profound statement. He said, until we have more Rotary clubs in the Middle East, we will never have the peace, excuse me, we so desperately seek. We need Rotary clubs more than ever. And he thanked me for chartering the first Rotary Club in the United Arab Emirates that we had long sought. advancing Rotary and its mission of peace throughout the Middle East. But the reason I'm here, the miracle of it all is that no matter what we do for others, it always comes back into our own life. In the words of Edward Martin, there is a destiny that makes us brothers. Man lives by life alone. All that we send into the lives of others comes back into our own. So I have a friend who's a past district governor in Orange County. And he called me up one day and he said, Rick, would you fly down to John Wayne Airport and come and speak at my Rotary Club on a Thursday at noon? I said I would do that. And so on a Thursday morning, I flew to Orange County. But I could tell the minute I got into his nice shiny Mercedes-Benz automobile that he was not his usual excitable self. I said, what's the matter with you? He looked at me and he said, Rick, my wife and I have had a somber experience this morning. What's that? We brought home our first grandchild from the county hospital. Congratulations, I said. That's a marvelous moment. The time when you bring home your first child, your first grandchild. And he said, well, it was special, Rick. Because she was born 10 days ago on a Sunday. And the doctor told us that she probably would not survive. He said, I'm not a physician. I don't know what all the problems were. But I know that we wouldn't let her see her for a week. My daughter, the child's mother, wept at our house the entire week. Her husband, a young man in his 20s, had no idea how to console his young wife. My wife, he said, the baby's grandmother, was distraught the whole week. It was not a very happy time at our house. But last Sunday, he said, we got a call from our doctor. And he said, we think we've elevated her status to 50-50. So if you want to come and see her for just a moment, come now. We all got into my car. He said, you know, Rick, when you go to a children's hospital to see a very sick child, and it's your own child, it's not much fun. They took us into a room all whitewashed and clinical. And there, lying on a bed in a cage-like apparatus, hooked up to a big machine with tubes and wires, was my first grandchild. I wept, he said. I wanted to live this child to life. I prayed. I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what to do. And then I got the shock of my life, because there in the corner of the machine was the rotary wheel. He said, I rubbed my eyes. I went over and stared at that. My mind raced back 3 years earlier, when the president of the club stood up and said, The children's wing of the hospital needs a new machine. It isn't going to be cheap. It's going to cost $1 million. But we are Rotarians. And the president said, I think we can do it. Thank God for Rotary Club presidents like that. So he said, you know, Rick, I wrote a check because I'm a past district governor and I thought I should set an example. So I wrote a check and I forgot all about it. And then he said, I sold beer and hot dogs at the county fair to raise funds for this machine. And then I forgot all about it. I've been in Rotary 30 years, he said. How many checks? How many hot dogs? How many projects? I forgot all about it. Until last Sunday, when that machine was keeping my first grandchild alive.
Awesome.
And this proud, successful businessman leaned against my shoulder and he wept. And he said, Rick, how did we ever get so lucky to belong to a club that's always asking us to give? Because you can't give it away. Sooner or later, one way or another, always and inevitably, it comes back. And we are the ones who profit the most. And I said, congratulations. Your grandchild has come home. Hooked up to a machine, sitting in that room because of the work and the contributions of Rotarians in your club. And so on behalf of my friend Jennifer Jones, the president of Rotary International, the directors of the organization, the trustees of the Rotary Foundation, and all of us who work in Rotary, we congratulate you on 8 successful years. We thank you for your service, and we pledge to you our hope and joy for many more years to come here in the Rotary Club of Santa Lucia. The second President of the United States, John Adams, put it this way. In all the world, he said, only 2 kinds of people ever really count. Those people who make commitments and those people who keep them. And we, who are privileged to wear the Rotary wheel, are obligated to do both. God bless you.
Santa Lucia Rotary, please, a warm round of applause for Mr. Rich King, our special guest this evening. You guys can clap a little louder than that. Mr. Rick King.